Hello, in today's video we will be exploring the admin console. Note that the admin console is used primarily for troubleshooting and maintenance purposes. Once the padlock is unlocked, the admin console button will appear. Upon opening the admin console, you will be greeted with this menu. Drop density calibration will be covered in a future video. Check pen to paper spacing is to be used in certain situations where the DFE is in full control of the printer. Check encoder is used to verify that the encoder is working as intended. Check service sled is used to verify that the service sled is working as intended. Any error generated by this check will be seen as the printer status in the home screen of the 1170 Windows interface. Install service sled, eject service sled, and calibrate service sled will be covered in future videos. Open text console is not needed during normal operation. More settings can be found here, but these will be covered in a future video. Send firmware update is used to send firmware updates to the printer. This will be covered in a future video. B&B replacement is used to complete the reprogramming portion of the B&B replacement process. This process will be covered in a future video. Generate debug data and retrieve debug data are used to pull logs from the printer. This will be covered in a future video. You will also notice slider adjustments, starting with the TOF sensor distance. This slider is used to change the distance from which the printer prints from the lead edge of the substrate. The next slider is the leading edge adjustment. This slider is the same as the TOF sensor distance, but on a much smaller scale. The next slider is the pen to paper adjustment. This slider controls how far down the print bar comes to the conveyor base. Note that if this slider is too far to the left, you may experience a print bar stall. If that happens, simply raise this slider to the right, typically anywhere from 0.3 millimeters to 1 millimeter. The next slider adjustment is the idle cancel job timeout. This slider can be adjusted to allow the printer to remain idle for a longer amount of time without canceling the job. The last slider adjustment is the static print mode slider. This slider can be used to print faster by caching data instead of individually processing data through the DFE. For example, if I wanted to print 50 pieces of a static job, I would queue 1 in the DFE and set this setting to 50 copies. This would achieve 50 pieces of the static print. Lastly, more settings can be found here, but these will be covered in a future video. And that completes an overview of the admin console.